Sometimes it is only public pressure that moves the needle. And we could not afford to let her just become a footnote in history and yesterday's news. Hello, everyone. So that was Dr. R.A. Vernon of the Word Church and is located in Warrens Heights or Warrensville, Ohio. Is located in Ohio. And he was conducting this press conference in his church concerning Amanda Williams. Amanda Williams was a business owner and she lost her life on October the 9th, reportedly at the hands of her fiance, Terrell Edwards. So her family came together and they did this press conference because they wanted the community to know that they have some new evidence that could get the investigation going again, because I believe the investigation most likely was closed because after she had got hurt, and then they let the fiance go after 48 hours because usually if they cannot find anything to hold the person, they have to let them go. You either charge them or you have to let them go. So that's what happened. According to reports, they didn't have sufficient evidence to charge him, but according to when you listen to the press conference, it supposedly was a footage that he took, and it seems this footage probably exonerated him in a sense. So now Dr. Vernon is putting pressure on the prosecutor to, look at this new evidence to see if they could charge this guy with at least, some type of charge. And, he's like, it's public, because before he was like, he encouraged everybody to call the prosecutor, bombard his office with emails and calls, to put pressure so that they could reopen the case. And I'm saying, is it because, yes, she did attend the church, because if you go on her page, there were different times she would share his messages. And like I said in my title, the church and many of these pastors are responsible for the many lives of women that are being lost. What is it, especially for Black women, at 5.5 every 6 hours? Knowing that a lot of women attend churches. Sometimes some churches are predominantly women. It's a lot of women in the church. Only a few churches I can count on my hands that I know that the pastors is like an equal amount of men to women. But the other churches is a lot of women in the churches. And this young lady was in church. She was attending church. Maybe she was in attendance. Maybe she used to attend church, every Sunday, whatever. But she was in this relationship where hands was being put on her. They most likely were living together. But because churches these days value clicks, views, and likes, they don't value the word of God. That's why the word of God isn't being preached in these churches these days. Because if the word of God is being preached in the church, even though the person may, be living in a certain situation, like in fornication, adultery, shacking up, they could be living in that moment. But the fact that the word is being preached constantly, not one time, but constantly over and over and over again, where they're hearing, you're supposed to live a righteous life. You're supposed to be holy as he is holy. You're supposed to be holy in all of your conduct. One day, that message is going to touch that person, and they're going to say, you know what, I need to stop doing. We can't be doing this anymore. We can't. Nope. But because the church has fallen into, oh, you cannot judge. You judging people when you say stuff like that. That's why women are losing their lives at the rate that they are losing their lives, because they are not hearing messages that's going to convict them. There's no convicting message. There's no convicting Bible study. There's no convicting prayer service. It's nothing. It's just tickling people's ears, tickling their belly, tickling under their arms, make them feel good.
Because I remember when I was in those situations, when I was shacking up, everywhere I went, I tried to even go to another church. I heard the same message over and over again. You cannot be in church shacking up. You know better than that. Everywhere I went. And I didn't change. Of course, I didn't change right away. But one day, all those messages that kept on playing over and over in my head, one day, I was like, no, I cannot keep on doing this because I do know better than this. But this is not happening in these a lot of these churches, especially the churches that have a lot of reach. They're not constant. Yeah, they here and there they would say that, but something like that you're supposed to constantly, over and over again state this. You have to state this, and of course, people say, "Oh, you have to do it in love." When you correcting people, the fact that you're correcting that means you love them. But when you're correcting people, is going to offend people. The truth is offensive. It's offensive, but you're supposed to be offended because that's going to make you change. And then another thing is like, okay, I'm sure she died October 9th, but I'm sure there are other women that have lost their lives. No press conference was done for them. No public pressure came to the prosecutor for those women that lost their lives. Why her? Why her life? If all lives matter, all black women's lives matter, all of them should matter. That's when you put all these different cases that probably wasn't going anywhere. You do your research because this is the time now. You have all of this public attention, not only to bring justice for this lady that lost her life, Amanda Williams, but the countless other women that lost their lives and probably nothing is moving. That was the best time to do it also, especially if all lives matter, if all black lives matter. But sometimes, not all black lives matter, certain black lives that matter. Particularly sometimes when you're in a sorority and a fraternity. That's what it seems like to me. Many of these women are coming from generations where their fathers were not in the home. Some of their fathers were in the home, but didn't was some fathers were not able to do what the father needed to do because the mother, took over. Sometimes they just checked out because they didn't care, and sometimes they were not in the home. So these many of these women were not affirmed by a man, which is where you get your identity. So a lot of these women don't know where they come from. You have generations and generations of them. So now you have a generation, especially in this generation where you have, it's cool, it's okay to be spit on, be spit in your mouth. That's normal. That's the type of culture, that's the type of generation we're living in because fathers were not able to affirm their children. So they don't know who they are. And the fact that they don't know who they are, they accept whatever. They accept whatever because, I mean, what can I do? And then the word is not being preached because if the word is being preached, God said, He said He did not call us to uncleanliness, but holiness. Sin brings trash and garbage and filth and dirt in our lives. And the word is what cleans us out. But if the word is not being preached, how is that? How your life is going to be clean? What's happening? It's like, oh, that stinks. Oh, let me get some Lysol. Let's get some air freshener. Let's clean up here. Cover it up over there. So the scent doesn't. That's what is being covered up. It's being pacified. It's not being cleaned out. Because if you preach the word, of course, people, some people are going to accept it, some people are going to reject it. But when push comes to shove, when that days come, they could never say that, wow, you know what, he always kept it 100, he always told the truth. But that's not what's happening in this day and age. That's not what's happening in this day and age.
My mom, she kept a lot of stuff in. She did not tell us stuff that was happening to her, and as she told us, that man would not have been walking around our family at all.
And here's another thing that bothered me about this case is that, now they have, I guess they probably logged into her cell phone and then they found a lot of disturbing, text messages and pictures and videos and whatever. But when the daughter said that the mom never told them anything that was going on, they know, she was going through all of this. But there were instances where the pastor would say that, he was apologizing for doing this, for doing this. Unless she put on a lot of makeup, nobody knew, nobody detected, nobody suspected that this this was going on. Nobody. And then this is another thing. And sometimes, women do that. Women do that. They keep a lot of stuff in. This is, you do not keep stuff like this in. You need to tell somebody. You should be able to have a safe place with somebody. If you don't have a safe place with somebody that you can open up and share certain stuff, that's not good. So you're keeping all of this inside of you. All of this, whether it started with verbal first and then it escalated, you need to be able to tell somebody. Because when you're not able to tell somebody, you're keeping all these stuff in, then whatever this person is doing is just going to escalate. There's nothing that can diffuse them. There's nobody that could diffuse them. They're not afraid of somebody that you know. That's not a good thing. And a lot of times, us women, that's what we do. We keep everything to ourselves. And then sometimes, some people cannot. They don't have anybody that they could open up to, because they don't want to be judged, or they know they probably are going to be judged because the family never liked the person in the first place. So this is what happened, is very tragic, because I believe the her granddaughter was downstairs when this event took place. So it doesn't make any sense. And obviously, and I didn't even know they were engaged from last year, May. So they've been. This was quite a long engagement. Now, the church I grew up in, they always tell you, be careful with these long engagements. But people don't receive instructions for life in churches like that anymore. You just, go to church to make you feel better. You don't receive instructions. You don't see the the Bible tells you what the word's supposed to do in your life. But it seems like it's just an encouraging thing every Sunday, every prayer service, every Bible study. That's what it seems like the churches is going. That's what's going on in churches. By no means I'm condemning this lady, because we go to church because we looking for guidance. We looking for a relationship with God, building our relationship with God, our closest with God, directing our life and different things like that. But sometimes many of these churches, you're not getting it, because churches value clicks, likes, and views. And if you are, calling out certain sin, you're not going to get a whole lot of clicks, likes, and views. What gives you clicks, likes, and views? When you make people feel better about themselves, from all the bad decisions that people have made in their lives, they want to feel better. So that's why a lot of people engage in certain activities. Now, that's why a lot of people smoking a lot. Everywhere you go, you smell weed, because people want to feel better about the bad choices that they made, instead of, getting a sound mind, so they say that they are not repeating these same behaviors that are causing all of the effects that they're seeing in their lives. They want to feel better. Anyway, it's so unfortunate what happened to this young lady. We're going to see what becomes of this case, because obviously, something was going on in their relationship. The fact that he was able to get footage of to do whatever, and that footage got him off. Something was not good. So ain't nobody in this relationship. I don't believe anybody is innocent. They both probably had things they were doing to each other or whatever it is, and maybe he just thought ahead and protected himself. But whatever, since the family has new evidence, gonna see if they're gonna try to get an indictment on some type of charges. We're gonna see if this charge is gonna stand. But this guy, yeah, he whatever was going on, he just thought ahead. That's what he did. That's why you have to be careful. That's why we have the equipped people. People are not being equipped. Women are not being equipped. Filling up the churches, not being equipped. These women are not being equipped at all. They're not being equipped. Period. And then they getting in these relationships, and who's losing? Most of the times, it's the women that are losing because they are not being equipped. Everybody take your money, get your money, but you're not equipped. It's sad. And as long as the church people and these pastors and these churches keep on just making people feel good, tickling their ears, dumbing down the message, watering down the message, we will never see actual miracles, not the stage miracles that a lot of churches do. Actual miracles, actual testimonies of people showing the power of God, not having a form of godliness, but having true godliness, where the power of God is demonstrated not only through buying acres of land, having a business, getting a job, but actual miracles of people being healed of incurable diseases they do not have cures for, people who were shacked up with sleeping with all kind of people's husband and doing stuff, and then God take them out of that and is able to give them their own husbands and their own wives, those type of testimonies. But how you going to get that if you pacifying people, making people feel good, encouraging all the time, encouraging? That's all that's going on. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.